Again, Bhinneka, small group, just keep on bringing, oh, there it is, hold up. Keep on bringing the quality, right? That's what we're here. It's really easy if we can, we're all engaged, even in a small group, having quality members with quality things to say, can learn, all of us can learn from each other in some fascinating way. And it makes it much more fun. And then if we keep on building quality, like I said, one of my favorite quotes in the world, if you build it, they will come. Unless they bring cats, and then I'm allergic and I'm not going to come. So I will stay home. Right? That's how that works. And today's theme, right? We're talking about marching forward, heading towards April. Okay. And more to introduce today's topic. Wait a minute. Toastmaster of the day. Is that me too? Toastmaster? No, I'm not the Toastmaster.
It was Natalie.
It is Natalie. All right. Great. Let's introduce our Toastmaster of the day, Natalie Chayati.
Thank you, Club President Toastmaster Ben Whitaker. Wow. Hello, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be your Toastmaster of the day. My name is Natalie, and this week's meeting theme is very special because we're celebrating International Women's Day. So I would like to invite each one of you, even though it's not your TT session or your speech, but I would like to invite all of you to share 1 to 2 minute reflections or answers related with International Women's Day. So when I call your name, I'm going to do it slightly different. When I call your name, you can share what are your thoughts about it. But I'll do it after I introduce the general evaluator teams. So today we have the first time GE, and it's very exciting to invite her and welcome her. So please welcome our GE Toastmaster Nancy to briefly introduce her role and also her team. Give it up for Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the meeting. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster. My name is Nancy, and today I will be serving as the General Evaluator. As General Evaluator, it is my role to assess today's meeting and to ensuring that we have a supportive meeting. And of course, I will evaluate the overall meeting at the end. To assist me, I have my team that will help me to do this job. The first one is our counter that will track filler words and also unnecessary pauses. Now, help me welcome our counter, Toastmaster Marendra.
Yay, thank you, Nancy. Well, it's your first time being a GE, Nancy. Congratulations. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned earlier by our lovely GE, Nancy, I will be the counter. Well, hello, John. It's nice to see you again after a century, apparently. Now, I would like to share something. Wait a minute. As an evaluator, practically I will give the report about the usage of lexical and non-lexical words that you are using during your time given in the semester meeting of today. I would like to adjust the name and the roles while we are having a meeting. Basically, this part is divided into two. In the left side is the lexicals, for example, like so, yeah, what, now, that you are using in an appropriate sentence. I mean, it's supposed not to be there, but however, you use this in that sentence, according to my knowledge. And the right side is the non-lexical. It's easier to be counted because it is not a word with a meaning. It is something else. It is a cracks or somethings in a sentence, like and repeated word, long pause, elongated word. Well, thank you, Alicia Curtis, for making it happen, and it helps my job. And I'll give the control back when the GE call me upon this report. Now I would like to give the control back to our GE Nancy. Stop here.
Thank
Done.
you, Mr. Counter. The
Yeah.
next role takers, we have timer that will ensure that we stay within the allocated time. Now help me welcome Toastmaster Keisha.
All right, thank you, GE. Good morning, everyone. My name is Keisha, and today I'll be serving as our timer for this meeting. So timing is very important, not only to help us, as Nancy said, to stick to our agenda and to our schedule, but also to deliver an effective speech to help us deliver or communicate effectively. So in this session, in this meeting, we have 3 sessions. The first one is prepared speech, which is 5 to 7 minutes. Now, I'm going to be putting the green background at 5 minutes, this one, and then the yellow at 6 minutes, and lastly, red at 7 minutes. That is for prepared speech. And then the next session, we have table topics, which is 1 to 2 minutes per speaker. I will put green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes. And then the last one is evaluation, which is 2 to 3 minutes. I will put green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5 minutes, and red at 3 minutes. I will put all this in the comment section. And by the end of each speech, I will report back to you on the timing. And also by the end of the meeting, when Nancy calls me, I will report to you. So thank you, GE. Back to you.
Thank you, Keisha, for explaining your role. So we have to pay attention when we speak so that we don't run out of time. Okay, fellow Toastmasters, at the end of the meeting, me and my team will be back to present our evaluation and also feedback for the meeting. That is all from me. I would like to give the control back to the Tom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our GE Nancy. Have fun with your first GE role. You will learn a lot, and it's okay to make some mistakes because it's part of the learning. So, yes, just enjoy it. As usual, in every Toastmaster meeting, we will split the meeting segment into 3 segments. The first one is prepared speech section, and followed by table topic section, and after that, evaluation session that will be led by our general evaluator. Before we start our first session, the prepared speech session, I would like to give like a warm up question for all of us related with our topic for today, March Forward, celebrating International Women's Day. It's very simple. All you need to do is to say the name and why. All right. So the question is, who is the most inspirational woman in your life? And I will call your name. You say, who is the most inspirational woman in your life and why? That's it. You don't have to go into detail because that's for table topic, but we just want to know that person in your life. So first up, I'm going to start with Nancy.
The most inspirational woman in my life is my mom because she loves me unconditionally.
Awesome. Thank you, Nancy. How about Alicia?
To be honest, I don't really have any inspirational women in my life. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Alicia. And how about Keisha?
Same as Nancy, my most inspirational woman is my mom because she raised me to become who I am today.
Awesome. Ben?
My mother as well, because she instilled a lot of values that have kept me from going the wrong direction.
Okay. Pipit?
Since everyone said mom, I'm gonna say my profile picture. Kartini, most inspiring woman.
You need to explain why.
Oh, why? Because he could have been a rich woman married to a rich guy, but she did not choose that path and choose the harder route, which was championing education for women in the era where no one cared about it.
Cool. Thank you, Pipit. How about Rendra?
Her name is Anna Elizabeth Srihatun. She's my mom. Since 8 years old, my father passed, so she basically taking care of everything of the boys' needs since 8 years old until 18, I think, senior high school graduated, and I got independence after that.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Rendra. Last but not least, John.
Yeah, the most inspirational woman in my life was my mother because she helped me uh, helped me to to give birth of me and to this world, and of course because of her effort to feed me and to feed all my siblings, and yeah, only her.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Yeah, reflecting to like after hearing all of your answers, I think most of you mentioned your mother for various reasons, but basically it's all rooted in love. Some other also mentioned other figures, and I really appreciate all of your answer. The reason why I asked this is because marching forward is a theme that's closely related with International Women Day. Basically, it says that for whatever happened with women, we need to march forward and pave our own future. So that's like the gist of our meeting theme today. And that lead me to the second question for all of you. Bear with me because we only have one speaker. Is that what is your plan to march forward with your life? Very brief, like less than 1 minute. What is your plan to march forward with your life? Let me start with the gentleman, Ben.
No clue at all. Really, just kind of in that realm of making sure that my family is taken care of. And as long as they're doing that, then I'm good.
Cool. Sometimes when life happens to you, even if you don't have plan, it happens. So supporting you. How about Pipit?
I'm gonna tell you a secret, guys. Last Thursday, I saw a ghost for the first time in my life, and it was caught on camera. There was CCTV in my school, and a sighting basically. I was with two people. I was the only one who saw it. But my reaction, I did not scream, did not shout, did not run, trying to, because I didn't believe in those things, didn't believe in metaphysical stuff. So I just had calm reaction, but my face turned pale and, shock actually, but I held it in. And somehow that changed, I hope, the perception of the people who work in my school, that women are scaredy cats, that when they see ghosts, they scream and run or help. I did not do any of that. So I think that's at least what I could do to show that we're not afraid. Yeah, so that's my part.
Cool. So when you're saying that it shows to your coworkers that women are not scaredy cats, you're breaking boundaries. And I think you have managed to do it not just on that occasion, but for many occasions in the future as well. How about Rendra?
I would like to try my best for not being killed or suicide, because somebody told me that whatever happens to you, as long as it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So I commit myself not to suicide or to be killed. That's all.
Okay, Rendra. Well, that's a good commitment to have. At least you have your family to be taken care of. You need to look after them. You need to raise your kids. So yeah, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Cool. How about Alicia?
actually get through this university degree and to still be eating McDonald's at the age of 90 with a full set of teeth. Thank you.
That was so cool. Eating McDonald's at the age of 90 with a full set of teeth. That's such a great resolution. Cool, cool. You can do it. Oi, oi, oi. Next is John.
Oh, sorry, what was the question?
The question is, what is your plan? What do you plan to do with your life to march forward? Because our meeting theme is march forward.
Okay.
I will give you like 1 more minute to think about it
Yeah,
and give it
sure.
to other people so you can have some idea first. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'll pass it over to Keisha first.
For me, marching forward, I want to try as many skills as I can, like learn as many skills, especially during college, so that in the future, I know which passion that I could pursue further in my career. Thank you.
Cool. Yes, I would love to give this advice to my younger self because back then I didn't really know many things. I would say to my younger self, just try many different things and then gradually you will find things that you love the most. So you're on the right track. Keep going. How about Nancy? And then I'll go back to John. Oh, you want to speak first, John?
Yeah,
Okay.
Just learn new things and keep learning about it, and yeah, so that can yeah, just do good things. I think that's it.
Yeah, true. I agree that personal growth is important for all of us, either it's professionally or personally. Let's go with Nancy.
Mine is keep learning and looking for opportunities that I can create.
Okay, cool. Yes, definitely. Because when you just learn something without applying it or having an opportunity to do it, it's gonna be a whole different level of like learning and growth. So yes, once you learn it, try to find opportunity to apply it or implement it. Good job. And for me personally, I think this year my marching forward is to be more connected and to take care more of my body because in the beginning of this year I had an episode where I had this frozen shoulder that left me like frozen literally. So yeah, and after that I had a drama with the hospital due to digestive problems. So this year my marching forward is taking care of my body. All right. The reason I ask you this is because sometimes we have everything in here in our mind, but we don't really verbalize it. What I asked you just now is to help you clarify your thoughts and put it into words so you know clearly what you want to do, at least for this year. Okay. Now we're ready to welcome our first speaker. I saw in the chat that Alicia asked, can I have 10 to 12 minutes for my speech, please? And Ben said, okay. Everyone said, okay. So yes, Alicia, 10 to 12 minutes. So timer, Keisha, please note 10 green, 11 yellow, and also red 12. I would like to invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Ben, to briefly introduce Alicia and her project. So please welcome Ben.
Oh, right. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Today is a special treat. Anytime I get to hear Alicia talk about something, except for cats, it's a great treat. All right. So let's introduce what she's doing. I think hopefully our agenda is correct. Lesson 1, Project 2, Write a Speech with Purpose is one of my actually favorite speeches because, again, that second speech, even new Toastmasters to advanced Toastmasters have been in it for a long time, have some kind of meaning for this speech. Alicia's, again, 10 to 12 minutes is what she's requested. Her speech title is Are You Accessible? So, Toastmaster Alicia Curtis, are you accessible?
Thank you very much, Ben, for the introduction. Imagine you're sitting in this Zoom room and you are sitting in the hot seat, the speaker seat, like I am today. How many of you have heard the comments, "You are speaking too fast, Pippet," or "You are speaking too fast, Ben"? Anyone been subject to that? Hands up if you've had that constantly told to you. No, some of you have, some of you haven't. Or imagine if you're in a work meeting or another Toastmasters meeting and you're delivering a speech or even a table topic, and the sea of black screens and tiles is just waving across the whole screen. I'm sure we're all familiar with that, especially over the last 5 years. Now, I'm sure many of you would feel disconnected, right? If you just saw the black tiles. Yep. And left out. For many people with disabilities, myself included, this is not just an occasional inconvenience, it's a daily struggle. Today, I want to shed some light for all of you on the challenges that people who experience disabilities face when they're using Zoom, MS Teams, WebEx, and other like products, and how we can create a more inclusive environment where everyone is included. Because remember, accessibility isn't just about technology. It's about understanding, compassion, and adaptability. So I'm going to talk about 3 parts of disability. Now, disability is a very broad spectrum. It's sort of like autism spectrum disorder. There is multiple facets on the spectrum of disability, and it can be anything and everything. Let me talk about neurodiversity first. Who here knows what neurodiversity means? Okay, autism, if I say OCD, autism, ADHD, hands up if you know what those are. Okay, everyone seems to be understanding when I say that. It's blanketed now under the blanket of neurodiversity. ADHD, it's a common one, and especially here in Australia and also in New Zealand, it is the #1 growing speed, rapid diagnosis for women aged between 30 to 55 years. Yes, that is what the recent reports were saying. I was reading recent medical journals that is the increase rate because women were being misdiagnosed. They were masking, and it was such a battle to see what they're being diagnosed with. Now, if we think about ADHD, it's like having a million squirrels up in the brain and they're going 100 miles an hour and they're going in every different direction. And suddenly those who are neurotypical, who do not have ADHD, sit there confused. They typically speak faster than neurotypical people because that is the way that their thought process is working. They will speak at the rate that they're thinking. Now, it leads frustration for both the speaker, but also for the evaluator. Constantly, they are told to slow down. Now, people who have ADHD, and I'm actually undiagnosed ADHD, are often told that they are failures, that they are always disconnected, that they are doing this and they're always doing wrong. 20 times more than a person who doesn't have a diagnosis. So being constantly told that you are speaking fast is considered quite negative. We're in a Zoom meeting here at the moment, and we have the ability to use things like AI Immersive Reader. We can use the closed captions. I highly encourage everyone to turn that on to read it. And also we can use the chat box. Why don't we meet halfway with people who have ADHD or other like disorders so that we can actually find a balance between what they do well and what they can improve on. So that way you can read along with the pace if it feels too fast and just make that small adjustment, which could make a big difference for a person who continues to hide and mask away. The second disability I want to talk about is hearing impairment. How many of you know someone who may be deaf or have a hearing impairment? Is there anyone in your life that you know? Yep. This one is also quite frustrating as well. Now, a few years ago, I was actually mentored by someone who only had 15% of their hearing and in their right ear. When they came onto a Toastmasters meeting, they would usually sit like this because they were listening with that ear and they had to come forward. Now, that was the one that so that's my left ear at the moment. They aren't listening with that one, but they're listening intently with that one. It's the way that they position themselves into the camera. And they are also looking into the screen to see if they could actually lip read. Because as we know, with people who have hearing impairment, one of the big things for them is vision. And they use body language as part of their intuition to be able to understand. They need to be able to lip read. So imagine when you are hearing impaired and all of a sudden all the screens are black. The table topics master gives you a table topic and they have their screen off. And imagine if your hearing impairment is completely 100% because you have a hearing infection in the good ear. And that has happened. As a result of that particular individual, I had to learn American Sign Language. Now, if you know American Sign Language, it is very vibrant and it is extremely expressive. It's like that is how it is delivered. It is quite funny and it is quite entertaining, but it is about expression. Whereas with Australia, they use the hand and the board to use the way of finger reading and also with the actions and the gestures. So for me with this, if we had someone who was hearing impaired, I would say turn our screens on. Make sure the screens are on at all times. It's just another small gesture, but it could be the gap that gets bridged between them and the rest of us. Now, the third one is one that I actually severely suffer from, and that is mobility issues. If we were in an in-person live event, and I know that we've all been to recent events in Toastmasters, a couple of us, and someone walked into a room with a friend who was in a wheelchair, and then the MC goes up onto the stage and says, right in front where the person with the wheelchair who has no legs, please can we all be upstanding? How would you honestly feel, Natalie, if someone said that to you and you were in that position of the wheelchair?
I would feel uncomfortable because I know I couldn't do it.
Exactly. And that happened a few weeks ago here in Sydney. And I was absolutely appalled at that happening. Yeah. Someone actually said, please be upstanding. Front row person in a wheelchair with no legs. It was very disappointing and also quite discriminating. For me, one of the reasons I don't stand in my speeches is because I have a mobility issue. I have a sickness, I have an illness, I have an autoimmune disorder, which disrupts me from being able to participate physically in a lot of activities. For me to stand to deliver this speech will require a lot more drugs, and it also be the equivalent of running a half marathon. That is the toll that it takes on my body to do certain activities these days. One of the things I always say to people now is think about how you can adapt the evaluation rather than asking to someone, please be upstanding in this virtual position or this virtual environment, is think about what that they can do about their posture. Are they sitting upright? Are they looking into the camera? How are they gesturing and how are they delivering the speech? It could be a small thing that could open up a huge opportunity to that person. As we adapt to this virtual communication and environment where we are in many countries, and we're in 2 countries today, Australia and Indonesia, let's remember that inclusion is not just a technical challenge, it's a human one. By recognizing and addressing the unique needs of each individual, whether they have ADHD, autism, hearing impairment, physical disabilities like mobility issues, we can create that safe space where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Because remember, accessibility is more than just a feature. It's a promise that no one gets left behind. So let's start together. It starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with us, we together. Let's fulfill that promise and let's be accessible. How accessible are you? Back to you, Toastmaster.
Wow. Thank you very much, Alicia. Wow. That was such a powerful speech coming from someone who experienced it yourself and sharing it. I really appreciate your vulnerability and also helping us to understand the experience that you go through, and that also foster more understanding that we can apply to other people with who have who has special needs, so that we can be helpful for them as well. So thank you for that. I think part of marching forward is breaking barriers, and one of the way we break barriers is to break prejudice. So your speech just reminded me of that, to break the prejudice or assumptions that we have about disability or people with special needs, and to really foster connection and understanding. So thank you for that. It's exactly 10 minutes from our timer, right?
Exactly 10 minutes.
Awesome. So thank you for the timers report. Now I would like to pass it over to our table topic mistress, our table topic master, Toastmaster Pipit, who will lead the second session, table topic session. Please give it up for Pipit.
Thank you so much. Sorry, guys. I'm not lazy. I need to lay down. So please bear with me. But my mind is 100% present. Okay. So I actually was surprised listening to Natalie's introduction earlier that March Forward actually the tagline for International Women's Day. And I searched it up, and it's specifically UN Women Australia's tagline. International Women's Day, March Forward. So I prepared questions that related to moving on from any tragedies or something like that. So thankfully, we have internet here that can help me draw up some questions real quick. So we'll just go with that. I'll try to make the questions somehow relevant to both men and women, and hopefully you guys enjoy the table topic session. Okay, now let's start with someone who has not spoken at all in terms of long speech. So Keisha, yes,
Yes.
unusual for the timer to be the first table topic speaker. But Nancy, do you want to be the timer when Keisha is doing it? Topic?
Sure.
Sure. All right. Keisha, question number 1 is okay. So, what are some of the biggest obstacles that still prevent women from achieving full equality worldwide? What are in the chat box? What are some of the biggest obstacles that still prevent women from achieving full equality worldwide? Keisha.
Today, we like to think that both men and women are equal in terms of employment, in terms of social status. We like to think that we're equal. But in truth, there's actually still a lot of inequality that is happening all around the world. And the reason for that is not only because of men, because of men's prejudice against women, but oftentimes it also comes from women to women, which I think that's very unfortunate. People are often prejudiced with their more conventional thinking that women are supposed to stay in the kitchen and women are not allowed to achieve success in their career. And that is not just a mindset that is proposed to men, which is the other gender, but also by many women around the world as well. Well, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what we want to be as women, whether we want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's a very powerful job. I admire my mom so much for being a stay-at-home mother, because I know that it's very hard watching her being a stay-at-home mom. It's not an easy job. But also, if we want to be a career woman, no one else should have an opinion on that, because it's our lives. It's our lives as women, and it's our choice. And no matter what we choose to be in our lives, no one else should have a voice on that, because it's our life, women and men both. And I hope that by implementing this mindset more, we could achieve a more equal mindset for both men and women. Back to you, TTM.
Thank you, Keisha. If I can sum it up, that means it's my decision and none of your business. Yes, more power, of course. And it's funny because just now I had a debate session with my students about determinism versus free will. So, how much of it, our life has been determined, how much is actually free will, and whether there are humans who have more free will than the other. And one of them was, is it true that men have more free will than women? Something like that. Well, anyway, so that's it. Yeah, I agree. It's let them be, decide whatever whatever they think is best for them. Yeah. Right. Next one is question for Rendra.
Yes,
Ready, Ren?
TTM.
This one is very predictable. I'm sure you think that you will be asked about this. Question is in the chat box. What are some practical steps that men can take to support gender equality in the workplace and in their personal lives? Rendra.
Fellow Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, what are some practical steps that men can take to support gender equality in the workplace and in their personal lives? To me, and what I did, I do not want to be, what do you call it, somebody that dragged her down, or a stone that disturbed her ways. So I just take sides when a lady in my main office, or even my wife, if she would like to achieve something, I do not want to be a man that forbid, or that be myself an obstacle. So I give the way as wide as possible. But I would like to tell you, to be honest, the way that I was choosing my wife, she was a housewife, pure housewife. It doesn't mean that I didn't want to have a wife who are hard worker, but I thought that I got a little bit trauma when I was a child, and I see all my sisters-in-law, the wives of my elder brothers, who are all hardworking. I'm afraid. I was afraid when I was a child to see that women really exist and quote unquote neglected their children. So actually, I do not have any solutions to that case, because ladies, you will deliver a babies, one or two or three, but you cannot also do not deliver if you decide that. It's your call. That I don't know. Somehow it's conflicted in my side. So I need you, ladies, that mature enough and educated enough to educate me how to see the world through your eyes. That's all. I give the control back to a famous lady, Pipit.
Famous lady. Okay, yeah, it's a classic issue. They call it not in my backyard, and my and I am B, not in my backyard. So I support it, but for my personal life, I choose this. Yeah. So it's okay to have nuclear power plant, but not in my backyard. Okay, put it somewhere else. So that type of situation. Yeah, it's a difficult situation. My mom was also a housewife, and I felt sorry for her in a way that I knew she had a lot of talents, right? She was the one probably running my father's business without him knowing. So my father's business could have gone bankrupt if my mom did not persuade his employees to actually stay behind his back. So my father was very ruthless to his employees in terms of a lot of the rules, a lot of the pay cuts, something like if they make mistakes, he just cut the check and things like that. and he would have lost a lot of employees, but then my mom was the one persuading them to stay, sometimes returning the pay cut that my father gave them without him knowing until now probably. So they still stayed, something like that. So she was the mastermind behind my father's back who kept the business running. She could have done it herself actually, but yeah, it's a difficult situation. Okay, the next question is for John Manurung, Mala's sister. Not sister, sorry, Mala's brother. You don't know Mala Manurung, but you have met her like in Eagle.
Yeah, I know Mala
You know,
Manurung.
okay, Mala's brother. Okay. We know that a lot of problems in equality is about gender pay gap, right? So men and women are paid differently even when they do the same type of jobs. Economic disparities continue to be a major issue for women globally. What policies or workplace initiatives that would help close the gender pay gap? So then men and women somehow can earn at least same amount when they do the same type of job. John Manurung.
All right. Actually, this is a good, this is hard question actually. Okay. All right. Actually, I don't know how to answer this, but I want to talk. I want to respond of this. Um, Sometimes when there is a word that women and men should have um equality, as equal as that people would like to hear about the equality, but in the other hand, on the one hand, I agree with that, because if you remember that a long time ago, that woman had is become the person who only deliver babies and then serve a man. I debate on that because I didn't agree, and I also agree that uh, feminism people, I agree with that, but uh, years, decade by decade goes by, and I found that this feminism is too much. Sometimes a woman can um, would like to reach out above man, and that's I disagree with that because um men and women should have uh oh okay, they should have their um all right, actually I don't know how to, because this is okay. I think I will stop right there because a deep question, and in my conclusion that men and women should support each other with their their essential like man and woman supposed to be.
Okay. So we should support each other, right? So that's the main point. Yeah,
Yes.
John? Okay. This last question is related to John's statement just now. Ben. Ready, Ben? Okay. There are a lot of stigmas with feminism that make men uncomfortable talking about it. Do you agree or disagree with this statement?
Feminism. I am pretty outspoken. I teach debates and taking psychology, relationship psychology classes, and trying to understand the concept, like, even sociology with feminism in general, where kind of what the definition of feminism really is, where it's like an extreme, right? When you say feminism, it's like seems like it's an extreme of something, like extreme belief, and then one side's over here. Like I'm said right there in the middle. I am all about equality if you can bring an equal, like if you could do the equal job, you should get paid the same way. I'm not for extreme. If you as an individual human being want to live your life whatever way you want, go for it. Right? I don't care. As long as you're not alienating other people and limiting other people. So it doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ, woman, male, don't care. I don't have to agree with everything you do as an individual, but I'm not going to stop you unless you are preventing me from doing what I want, making me happy. And, I don't care. I don't care about people's religious beliefs, political beliefs. Just, are you a good person? And that's really the main thing. So when it comes to an extreme of like women should be able to do whatever they want, go for it. Can you? Can you do it? So if you want to do equal pay for equal job, like this is a big debate within the U.S. for the NBA and WNBA. Some of the WNBA players say they should get paid just the same as the NBA players. Are you bringing in the same money as the NBA players? No, but their contracts can be negotiated with certain other elements where like the NBA players are making about 51% of the total income, or WNBA players are making like 15 or 20. So there's a certain kind of statistical element when it comes to equality is like, can you do physically the same job as someone else? Some men can't, so they shouldn't get paid as some other men, right? So when it comes to equality and talking about feminism, I'm never going to stray away from talking about individuals and what they believe. Back to you.
Yes, actually, it's an evergreen debate about um, women athletes and men athletes, because equality doesn't mean have to be equal in number of how much money they get, because obviously the sports in men and women also bring in different amount of sponsorships, for example, right? So men's NBA maybe brought in, like, I don't know, say just for the lack of better term, 1 billion US dollars, and then women NBA only brought in, like, say 500,000. So obviously, because this amount of sponsorship they attract, the merchandise sales also very different in revenue, then they cannot have exactly equal amount of um, salary, right? But maybe its percentage should be the same. Like for example, men athletes get 5%, then women athletes should get 5% of the total revenue or whatever. So I think that should be the case. And another interesting topic is about how about sport that doesn't need any physical ability, such as chess, if you can call chess is sports. That's another debate, right? Chess is sport, but why do they have women's chess and then men's chess? It's supposed to be, it's an intellectual game. Why do they even have gender in chess? Or yeah, or esports. Esports is totally just this, right? It's supposed to be combined between men and women, but it's still divided between gender. So that's another debate for another, yeah, Queen's Gambit. All right, another day. Now let's go to Nancy. Nancy. in among 198 countries, there's 0 country that have gender equality pay. 198 countries. There's no country that actually have gender equality in terms of payment. Yeah. What do you think of this statistics, Nancy?
Well, as we're talking about women, men, gender equality, right? So it is something that is also hard because we, as a gender, we are different. So we are different since we are born, and the differences makes ourselves feel that we are someone is one is more special than others, and it is also supported by our, like, by the history, by our culture, that somehow men's the yeah men's are higher than women. And even until today we are still struggling with that, because in many places gender equality is not applied. Yeah, is not applied for all. And I think the certain reason, it is because of the habit that we have been taught since we were a child, that that habit that also bring us with when it becomes a habit, it will be hard to change, especially if we started in a family and then in a community, in in a community, and it goes into like a country. So it is so hard to change. But then as time goes by, now many people try to speak up about this gender equality. Well, for now, it might be not, not all countries, but I believe that by the time gender equality will be, everyone will appreciate that, because we can see the changes between time to time. People, we became more brave to talk about it, and then this one that will lead into I think better gender equality in the future. Back to you.
Yes, it's a long journey to get there. Yeah. We don't know whether it's within our lifetime to actually to achieve the equal gender pay gap at least. But then pay gap here, of course, producing the same type of work basically, and then earn exactly the same. Okay, Natalie, you're the last question. Last speaker. Okay, so a lot of countries implement quota for women in the parliament. This one doesn't. It's not gonna be in the chat box. I just made this up. I'm making this up. So a lot of countries implement quota for women to be in the parliament, to be in political parties. Sometimes at least 30%. Okay, 30% must be women in if you want to form political parties, this and that. Even after the government put the 30% cap, at least women, they still cannot find enough women to fill the seats or to be the candidates or to be the members of political parties. Why do you think it's hard to find enough women to fill those seats?
Why is it so hard to find women to fill the seats in the parliament or to be the representative in the government? I personally think it's because of the social cultural issues that define the woman gender expectation. For example, in Indonesia, or in many other patriarchal society, women are expected to be the homemaker. Very real example from Bali. If you're a woman and you come from Balinese family, you will not have an inheritance because you will not inherit the family's temple. you will not continue the family's name or bloodline. So all the inheritance usually, traditionally, go to the man. One of my good friend in Toastmasters who have passed, Mira, I think Ben knows her also. Her family is one of the exception. They came from a very high case, and because her father was educated and informed, he made a decision to give all three daughters. They had like three daughters, no son. They split the inheritance equally among the three daughters, and he put it into writing. So even when Mira did not get married, he could still inherit her part of the family. I think this kind of mentality and initiative needs to be encouraged, but it will not happen without education and changing perspective of what the society or cultural people, sorry, not cultural people, or the local elder, cultural elder in your local community change their perspective. It all comes from number one, getting good education to realize the difference between tradition that can be let go and also tradition that can be kept. Woman itself to step up and get ready to take on the role and to have the confidence to do it. So I think it's all, even though it was created by society, cultural or pressure or backgrounds, but we can rectify it by education, both for the family and for the woman itself. Back to you, Pit.
Okay, I've never heard of that one in Bali, so that's new information for me. But I know in Batak they do the same. Wait, Manurung is also Batak. Batak, right? In Batak they also do not give inheritance to women. Yeah, in the past. Yeah, see, so he's nodding. So it's see is the see the similarity. So that's how yeah. The culture actually play a really big important part. In Islam, women get half of what the men get, basically. So that's another example. And then now the government has been trying to go against tradition that are very gender violence. For example, I just taught my students about Merarik tradition in Lombok, in which you can kidnap a girl and then marry her, basically, even when the girl doesn't like you. I think Nancy knows if you heard of Merarik, although Lombok is the neighboring island.
Yeah, I think I ever heard about it from my
Yeah.
friend.
I see that a lot of cultures actually very uh, permissive to gender economic gap, like not giving any inheritance, and also even gender violence, such as it is okay to kidnap someone and then marry the person. All right. Wife's parents only have two daughters, and her mom's the only child, so the woman have received everything. But now two grandsons. What do you mean?
You said that in Islam that like the women get half, but
Yeah.
my mother-in-law is an only child, so she got the house, and then they had two daughters, so they
Yeah.
kind of split in that kind of sense, and then now
Well,
the grandparents have two grandsons, no granddaughters, so it's kind of going.
oh, well,
cycle.
coincidence, yeah. Yeah. Well, in the case of all girls, I think it's a better situation because they don't have to show the stark difference between treating the son and the daughters, just like Natalie's friend happen to be all daughters, right? So I think it would be a different story if one of them is a guy. So maybe even though how educated the father is, there's no guarantee it will be equally divided like that. So another example will be the royal family of Japan, right? The first child was a woman, was a girl, and then they were battling, they were debating whether can she be the next emperor? No, and then she find out the way to get rid of her in a polite manner. So she was married off to an American guy, a Japanese descendant but American citizen. And there's a law that you cannot be an emperor when you married a foreigner, basically. So that's how to get rid of her. And then the next emperor will be her little brother, for example. Well, which is funny because the goddess of the sun, which is the main deity of Japan, is actually Amaterasu, is a woman. But the descendants who should be the emperor on earth has to be a man. So it's just a what? Something like that. So yes, a lot of cultures are very oppressive to women, yeah. And then even in a country that are advanced technologically, this still can be found. Okay, what a sad table topic session. This is Natalie's fault for choosing a very difficult topic. But I'm glad we still talk about it. And then I'll give the control back to Tom. Oh, timer. She put the time in the chat box.
Yeah, every speaker is eligible to be voted.
Every speaker is eligible. Okay, back to Natalie, Tom.
Thank you very much, Table Topic Master. I'm glad that you put all the blame in me because that's what I usually get. So this is not the first time. I have received it with love. All right. Thank you for such an enlightening and interesting table topic session. I think after the table topic session, my brain is turning because it helped me to see different things that we normally overlook or ignore about the inequality in terms of like workplace or pay gap, or even having a voice, having a representative in the government. So thank you for doing the table topic. I think we lost Alicia due to some mobility issue, but Rendra, if we can take like a photo for now, that will be great before we move on to evaluation session. I know you have taken many photos before, but just
Yeah, no.
one with the theme.
Okay, cool.
March forward.
Put sticker.
So what are you proposing, Pipit, for the theme of taking photos?
How to like marching forward? How would you express marching forward?
Okay. How you will express yourself on the theme of marching forward.
Wait, let me
Just
choose
imagine.
mine.
I don't know. 3, 2, and 1. I need to retake because John is closing his eyes. Wait, you're closing your eyes, bro. It's hard to edit because now just marching forward again. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it is beautiful.
You can
Now,
do Rosie the Riveter, the feminist, symbol. Rosie
what?
the Riveter.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see. Yeah, Rosie the Riveter. Okay, I'm gonna share screen.
Yeah.
This one, you guys. You seen this one?
Oh,
Right?
wait. Okay. Oh, that's Rosie. Using right hand. Okay, right hand. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Right.
Wait.
I cannot really.
I've seen the
Yeah.
photo, but I don't know her name.
Rosie the Riveter.
Man,
Ben!
please just show off, man. Just show off. Oh, wait. I need to prepare the screens. How to do that? Okay, with the left hand. 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool.
Okay.
It's like crazy. Yeah, being crazy is fun. Done.
Thank
Finish. Thank you, everyone.
you, Kendra. Thank you, Vipit, for the idea. Now we move on to the evaluation session. And to lead this session, I would like to invite our general evaluator, Toastmasters Nancy. Please give it up for Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Natalie. Well, now we have come to the third session of the meeting. It is the evaluation section, and I would like to start by call the speech evaluator Toastmaster Ben to present his evaluation. Toastmaster Ben, the screen is yours.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so we had a speech from Alicia Curtis. Are you accessible? Right. And again, this is a kind of a play on words in a way, because accessible can mean like, are you available? But are you able in this case? Are you able, accessible, like wheelchair accessible in the sense of like if you go to a location or something like that. So one thing that well, several things that I really enjoy when Alicia is talking is that right away she gets into engaging the audience. So one of the hardest things to do is one, to get someone's attention, and then even harder is to keep it. So she got our attention, and then she was able to kind of ask us questions and have us physically do something, such as raising our hand. Right? And if you don't, you can kind of tell that we're not paying attention at all, or we just don't understand what she's doing. One of the other things that Alicia does really well is she travels. There's many different Toastmasters meetings online. She talks to different people, and she's able to kind of, if you go to like if she goes to a U.S. club or Western club where their English is much stronger, she could talk a lot faster than she normally does. But she is able to kind of control her speech pace based off the audience and kind of even the content. So a lot of times when we're talking about something specific, like she said neuro something, I forgot what she said, neuro something. But the idea is it's right when you start saying neuro, and then obviously that means brain. A lot of people lose interest because they have no idea when it comes to something science based. So when you start talking about something science, people get turned off because either the information is too difficult, or you just don't understand anything. But what she did is she was able to kind of really simplify it, and throughout her speech, she was able to really clarify what she was trying to discuss and trying to that's the word, neurodiversity. That's what it was. And that's really something she does really strong, is each step of the way, she's able to kind of make sure that we're still up to date. And she was able to define some of the terms as she was going to make sure that people that don't understand certain aspects are able to kind of stay with the program. And that's really what's key, because at the end of the day, anytime we're communicating, is that the audience, do they understand you? You don't want to talk too high when your audience isn't unaware or uninformed of the topic. So Alicia does a really good job of this. All right, now a couple things. These are nitpicky, mainly for me. Is there's two things that she does right off the bat. Is she uses the phrase imagine. As someone who teaches debate, and a lot of times when kids start their speech, imagine in the world, I'm like, it's very cliche. So just for me, I lose interest already when you're telling me to imagine something. And then two, she also says, kind of allow me to talk. You're already talking. You're already allowed to talk. That's what the person who is introducing you gave you permission. So sometimes redundancies and cliches make me lose interest. I don't know about everyone else, but you want to be able to stand out as much as possible. So if you're already talking, you don't need to ask permission to talk again. And just tell me. I don't want to imagine anything. You're the one that's an expert on the topic. Right. So that's pretty much it for Alicia's speech. Good job, Alicia. Whenever you see this, hopefully. Back to you, Madam Evaluator, or General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ben, for the constructive feedbacks for Toastmaster Alicia. Now we are going to have should we do the ballot counter now?
In the
Okay.
process.
Okay. While waiting for the ballot counter for the voting session, now I would like to invite my team to present their report. I would start with the counter, Toastmaster Marendra, to present his report.
Now, I would like to share the screens to you. This is supposed to be easier to digest because so far I have noted that Natalie spent so twice, maybe more, but I just remember twice. And Ben only all right. Yeah. Rendra, I'm sorry I cannot myself. Pipit, I don't know why she's so good today. Nancy, Nancy, it seems I love paying attention of Nancy speaking English, so that's why it seems that I'm paying attention only to Nancy. Sorry, Nancy, but it's for good, right? So once and then three times, five, and then repeat the word once. Keisha and Alicia, I think they are English native speakers like Ben. And John is just yeah, and then okay, that's all. That's all, guys. So it seems a counter still counting often, especially in Indonesian society of using English. We tend to use much more. That's all. Give the control to G.
Thank you, Mr. Counter, for the reports. And today we also have our grammarian, Toastmaster John Manurung, that volunteered to be grammarian just in the middle of the meeting. So now I would like to call upon Toastmaster John Manurung to present his report.
All right. Thank you, Madam GE. Can I share my screen?
Can you try?
All right. So I'll do my best. This is grammarian report of Bhinneka Online Toastmaster. And this is my first time actually of being grammarian in Bhinneka Online, and happy to do this. And let's start with the grammar check. I was impressed that all people have a great English. So I just got one misuse. We turning, it should be, we put verb to be. So we are turning or we were turning. So the next one, and also I got a lot of a new term this afternoon. The first one, ADHD, that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's one of the most common mental disorder affecting children. Adults with ADHD find it difficult to focus, prioritize, leading to missed deadlines and forgotten meetings or social plans. It's also probably me as well with this sometimes forget something about meetings and social plans. The next one, amaterasu. So I heard this, it's unfamiliar for me, especially. So I Google it and I know something that Amaterasu, also known as Amaterasu Omikami, is the Japanese sun goddess in Shinto mythology, meaning great divinity illuminating heaven. She is a central deity or god, and the Japanese imperial family claims descent from her. And the other one is neurodiversity. It's the idea that people brains naturally vary. Difference are normal and expected. The term neurodivergent refers to people who have brains that work differently from the average person. The examples such as autism spectrum disorder, attention deficit or attention ADHD, bipolar disorder, dyslexia, and Tourette syndrome. All right, I as a grammarian, I also learned many things this afternoon. So that's a report from me. Thank you. Back to Madam GE, Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster John Manurung, for the report. Okay, everyone, you can vote for the table topic. Oh, yeah, for the best table topic. Well, now I would like to give my evaluations in general for this meeting. First one, this meeting is open 10 minutes before it's supposed to be started. So I think it is good because we can come earlier to check our devices so that it can be ready when the meeting starts. The meeting's supposed to be start at 11, but we start very little late at 11 past 3 minutes. I think that's still okay. And we start with, well, the meeting is started with Tom. Tom explained the theme clearly and also engage with the audience, which is a good point that make this meeting alive because the Tom can also engage with the audience. And the Tom is also listen carefully to every audience. When the audience answer the question, the Tom give the feedbacks about the feedbacks or like restate about the speaker's statement. So it shows that the Tom also listen carefully to every speaker. And the second, I'll go to the counter. The counter Toastmaster Marendra. Thank you because you provide you show us you provide good reports using Alicia Carty sheets that makes the report look simple and also can be followed. As you mentioned before that it was hard for you that you didn't really pay attention when other speaker speak, then I would challenge you to use UD in our future meeting. Well, UD the AI for the counter so that UD will record everyone so you will not miss anyone, even yourself. And for the timer, great job, Keisha, because you came to the meeting well prepared. I would say timer was really great, and you also explained the role clear. And next, for the grammarian, Toastmaster John Manurung, even though it was your first time in here, yes, but first time as a grammarian here, but you did a great job. You provide a proper report, and we can also learn from your evaluations. And yeah, the new terms that you share were detailed, and we can learn from that. And the next is for table topic master, Toastmaster Pipit. I really love the section. We can learn new insight from this meeting. So we come here and we bring something. So we can bring something from the section. And I also see that you also engage with the audience. So you listen carefully to every speaker. So when they finish their speech, you restate again about or you follow up their opinions during the tabletop. I think that's really great because you pay full attention to all speakers. And yeah, I think that is all. But overall, the meeting, I really enjoyed the meeting because it was engaging. Even though there are only 9 of us, some role takers are vacant, but the meeting still runs smoothly. And hopefully, in the future meeting, we can have a full role takers and more participants. That is all from me. Now I would like to give the control back to the Tom or the president to close the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Nancy. And let's give it up for Nancy for her first GE role. Well done, Nancy. So let me ask you, how does it feel?
It is hard because I have to find everyone details.
But was it doable?
Yeah, doable.
Great. So it's part of learning. So when you learn, everything will feel really difficult in the beginning, but as time goes by and as you do it more, then it will become easier and more natural. So next meeting, I will encourage maybe Keisha to be the GE. I think you have done it before, no? Or
I
not yet?
forgot. I think I have one time.
Okay. Or you can be the TOM if you want. So just take on different challenges, take on different role and learn new things. Awesome. So for now, I would like to invite the ballot counter to announce the favorite table topic speaker. And after that, I'll pass it on to our club president to close the meeting. Please give it up for Pipit.
Okay, Natalie, I sent you a message that the certificate template is gone from my Google.
Alright.
It was in a folder that Tenny shared with me, but the folder is gone now.
Yep.
Google
In
Drive.
in WhatsApp we have it, but don't worry about it. Just
Okay.
announce it.
But I have the announcement. So let's take photo and then the certificate will come later, yeah? Okay, the table topic winner is Natalie.
Yeah.
Okay, let
Wait.
me spotlight.
Yeah, let me pin her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the key for table topic is bring controversial topics.
Focus, Nat. Focus.
Yeah.
Focus on the way you have.
I know. Just
3,
Focus,
take a
Nat.
photo.
Focus.
2,
We would like to see
1.
you. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, that is it. Back to
Yeah.
Tom. You want to go back to president? What is it?
Yeah. I'll pass it over to our club president Ben to close the meeting.
All right. I didn't get to do this last week because someone closed the meeting super fast. Anyways. All right, John, you came in the meeting a little bit late, which is fine because you came in and contributed a lot. Thank you for coming. Please tell us when your club meeting is meeting next time if we're in Bali. You give us some information.
Sure. Thank you, Ben. First of all, nice to see you again, Ben and Pipi and Mahendra, Asia, Nancy, and Natalie. Nice to meet you. And yeah, I'm John. I am from Magical Bali Toastmaster. We are in Bali, in Sanur. So our club meeting is fully offline. So if you are in Bali, so our next upcoming meeting would be on Friday, 21st Friday
It's
at
Friday.
7 p.m. So yeah, just join our club if you are involved and you have time. Right. Thank you, Ben.
All right. Thank you, John. Okay. Marion contribution solid. Table topics solid. A lot of opportunities. All right. And again, table topics were difficult, which is good. I like difficult. It's my style. And a little controversial in a sense, because if you guys don't know Pipit, she teaches debate. So that's all she does is really create controversy and conflict, which is good because the only way a culture is ever really going to change and wake up a little bit is if they get a little pushback. So having topics where you could be in a safe environment like Toastmasters and discuss it where we have different viewpoints and kind of how we are raised and our experiences, and it kind of allows us to learn from each other in a way where we're not going to just kill each other or like go to war over our disagreements, but again a way to kind of open it up and kind of create some understanding about each other's lifestyles, right? Where I'm American, but there's a lot of things that I just don't care about, right? When it comes to my own country, or even when I go to other cultures, it's the same thing where I'm like, this is a little bit backwards, or a little bit in a way, right? You can't always fight it, but you could do your part to kind of allow the people around you opportunities, and hopefully that opportunities kind of grow in a way. So great topic, I think, for Women's Week or Women's Month, for a good meeting. And next month, our meetings are going to be back to normal, right? So April 6th will be the meeting, our next meeting. And great job by our GE. First time she did it. She did it really well. Good job, Nancy. And Kesha, I think your voice, you need to be doing something where you get paid to talk All right. I don't know, maybe like a professional reader, voiceover, podcaster, I don't know, ASMR, kind of like something. You should use your voice for something, right? Trust me, it'll work. Marendra, good job with the counter. And Tom, of course, controlling her meeting via vehicle and outside, multitasking. All right, guys, again, another quality meeting with the quality people. Have a great rest of your weekend and see you
Ben,
next time.
remind people of the paid dues.
Oh yeah, I was going to do that. That was a note of
March.
mine. Guys, if you haven't paid, April is the next time. Like a couple of us are already set until September. Right? So please re-up so we can have a club and not get in trouble. All right, that would be really key. We need 8, I believe. Is that good? Everything else? Any other notes?
If you don't have credit card, just let us know. We can do the help
Figure it
you.
out.
Yeah.
Well, there's a will, there's a way. Have a great day. Bye.
See you next 3 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for
Bye.
today.
See you. Thank you, everyone.